Well, that's troubling. Hello everyone, in today's video we're going to jump back and take another look at the A600, this lovely Aerostar aircraft. This is as updated as it can possibly get, and I'm kind of excited to see some of the things they've changed. We've got real-time, real weather, and as you can see it is a miserable fall day, which is perfect for an airplane like this. So let's go ahead and get started here. So I find this interesting that the trucks were already moved here, but that's perfectly fine. Let's go ahead and see some of the things that they may or may not have changed. So I'm kind of curious, because these animations are definitely a little bit smoother than when they first came out. They were a little chunky the first time, and I can't read that at all. I mean, the line looks like it's right there, which is in the safe spot, so I'm not worried about it too much. But at the same token, another thing that was a little bit wonky when we first did this is when you come down here to actually check the fuel. Let's see, you had to kind of click it, then you had to do one of these and look at it. I mean, it looks okay. Okay, so that's a little better. That's a little better. So they kind of tweak that part and make that a little bit smoother. Excellent. Kind of watch my head as I duck under here. Our tail tie down's already been popped off, but I can pop that back on if I want. I'm just, like I said, kind of curious to see the things that have changed or not changed. So I'm just going to kind of rip around, kind of take a quick little look here. Like I said, basic stuff for now. We'll get more complicated in a few minutes once we try to get this darn thing started, which, as everybody knows, it is quite a process. And I don't know. I think it's almost too realistically unrealistic. That makes sense? I don't know. Let's go ahead and climb in and get started. All right, nice and comfy day. Like I said, an awful day to fly, but perfectly good for us because this aircraft does this kind of thing real well. So I kind of like it. Oh, as I smack myself in the face with the door. All right, let's see what we got here. So the interesting thing is I noticed all my switches were on when I came in here. That's a little weird because I didn't set any of those switches. So it must have been something to do with the transfer. But again, that's perfectly fine. The autopilot's on? Who did all my buttons? Oh my goodness, who was fiddling with this last? Of course, keep in mind, if I start hitting all these switches off, that's going to cause other issues later, but that's okay. You never close that. All right, so it looks pretty good to me. I see that the mixture's already been put all the way forward. That's okay. RPM can be fine. All right, so let's go through the basics. Hit up our little tablet here, make sure everything's okay. This is the Aerostar flight info. You can see it's kind of cold in here, and we'll fix that pretty quick, so I'm not worried about it too much. We're using a KLN 90. That's not going to change. Drift is good. Persistency, I didn't have that turned on. I find that kind of weird that that happened, but like I said, not going to worry about it. With the big JPI, I actually kind of like the big JPI, so that makes me good. Fuel payload, plenty. Go fill it up with some gas here. We don't need a whole lot of gas, but like I said, it's perfectly fine. All right, that looks pretty good to me. Like I said, pretty short flight today. Good, good, good. That looks fine to me. Update digital engine monitor, maintenance. I've kept up with the maintenance on this airplane. I really shouldn't have to worry about it. Okay, this is a little different, but that's okay. Oh, wash the plane. Cool. Let's clean the bugs. I like that. Inspect. We got some low voltage. It doesn't surprise me because this thing was basically sitting there cooking its battery the whole time. So we'll go ahead and fix that and charge it back up. Engines. I don't think anything's gone wrong, but we'll look. Yeah, it's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. Yeah, I didn't think anything was wrong with it. The analyzer, it's always a good way to check to make sure everything's been good. This is an auction aircraft? Oh my goodness. Yes, please reset my plane. Oh my goodness, that would have been fun for me later, I'm sure. All right, that all looks good to me. You can see the cylinders are very, very cold, but that's okay. That's okay. All right, let's get the party started, as they say. Battery comes on. Fuel on. Fuel on. All right, that looks pretty good. We'll go ahead and give it a quick little boost there just to kind of give it going a little bit. Like I say, we don't have to crank it too hard. I'll go ahead and pop that out of the way so it's not blinding. Go ahead and give some fuel boost. Like I say, don't need to prime these too hard, so I'm not too worried about it. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. Good. All right, let's do about that. That's going to be plenty. All right, clear prop and all that other good stuff. Let's see how grumbly it's going to be for me this time. Oh, that battery's dead. Oh, so what does it happen? As soon as I look away, it catches. Whatever. Whatever. All right, that's running perfectly fine. Let's go get the other one now. Fuel boost comes on. We're going to go ahead and prime the thing. I did not prime it nearly long enough the last time. All right, that looks good. Go ahead and cut that to about half. That usually does it pretty well. All right, clear prop. Come on. You caught a second ago. As it's just as miserable as, hey, did you catch? Come on. This is not going to catch. Give me a minute. There it is. I had a feeling I flooded it. I flooded it bad. Oh, boy. That explains it. All right. Let's go ahead and crank it. So when you flood it, of course, I just open it, and basically what you're trying to do is get the last bit of fuel out of it. There we go. Engine started. Aha! See, if I know that was flooded, I would have done that the first time. Sigh. All right. We're good to go. Fantastic. So we want to get a couple things going here. Obviously, like I said, it's a pretty miserable day, so we're definitely going to take a couple moments to kind of get everything like nice and warm, pop on the heat. Definitely want to hit the fan. You would not want to hit the fan. That would be pretty bad. And this, I believe, is the heat. If that's ventilation, we don't want ventilation necessary. Heater temperature, we can kind of crank that out just a little bit. Windshield defroster, how is it today? Yeah, we'd probably need it. So I'll go ahead and leave that about half. And then we're in pretty good shape there. Pretty good shape indeed. All right. All right, let's chase some switches. Let's see, that's all set. Master avionics, autopilot power, automatic trim is on. Give everything a few moments to kind of get kicked on. This is usually a right click or left click. I forget what it is on the G1000 because, like I said, everybody kind of has their own way to do G1000. The GLN90, KLN90. I'll get it right eventually. That looks good to me. Everything is just starting to warm up. I like how we got an actual DME now. This is kind of nice. I appreciate that. It makes it a little bit easier. We'll go ahead and get these two guys clicked on as well. Let's see how far away we are from 114.90 here. Just making sure it's working. 114.90. Let's see, that should light up. That's about right. Yeah, I like that. Cool. So let's see here. The barometric pressure today, we got a cold, nasty system, 2965. So we'll just come in here. We'll just adjust that real quick. 29er, we'll do a 6 right here, and we'll make this a 5, and it should get a little less grumpy at me. Enter. Bop, bop, bop. Whatever, relax. All right, that is all set. We're good to go. We'll do a nice, pretty straightforward flight plan here. Like I said, nothing too dramatic here. Let's see here. We want to go to Kilo Echo Echo November. Nice, that's all set. So we've got that pre-programmed. We got an MSG warning test. Everything looks good to me. Flip over to GPS. We just need to make sure we get the correct direction. 27 is going to be the bearing, so we'll tap that over to 27. Of course, this is all borked right now, but we'll fix it. Not going to worry about it too much. There we go, about 27. Let's see here. DG slave will take a few minutes. That is definitely something that we have to kind of check here. So about 1.5. We're not far off, and it says that we're mostly synchronized there. So I'm not complaining, All right, we have an MSG warning. Let's see here. Oh, MSG. I don't have to worry about that too much. Everything else is all squared away there. I'm pretty happy with that. Let's go get our flaps ready for takeoff here. Delightful. All right, that's set to go. I've got an oil temperature warning. That's okay. I'm going to click clear. I'm going to say no. I already refilled it. Temperature's pretty low. Like I said, the weird thing here is that we haven't even started to show oil temperature on the right side. I wonder if this is something on my part. Maybe I didn't hit something correctly, but I'll have to take a look there. It's fine. Pressure's fine. RPM could come up a little bit. It looks like the left engine's being the cold one today. That's perfectly fine. Let's see, that looks good to me. Yeah, everything's in the green, so I'm not too worried about that. I'll go ahead and step. Miles per gallon, yes, is really what I care about, a cylinder 4, because this is always the naughty cylinder, as you know. All right, amps are good. Check all that. Yeah, everything's fine. Like I said, I'll start warming up in here pretty soon, which is nice. And we can actually start a taxi and kind of get going. Let's go ahead and take a listen for the weather here, 126.45. I'm just taking an idea what's going on. Like I said, this is an IFR kind of experience usually. Runway 2. That's what I thought. All right, that's all set. Cool. So we'll assume that's runway 2. Go ahead and pop on our handy-dandy lights. Actually, well, it's just going to be this one for now. We wouldn't turn anything else on until we get a little bit closer, but that's perfectly fine. This thing is so rumbly-bumpily. So good. Whew, the brakes on this thing are crisp. There we go. Perfect. All right, looks good to me. We've got to go run through and make sure everything's working okay. We'll do our lights, camera, action, all that business. Let's see here. Lights today. We need quite a few lights. So go pop everything on that needs to be on. Check our ammeter. It's probably a little grumpy on me now. That's fine. It's perfectly good. We'll give it a little bit of RPM. Check to make sure everything's smooth. Come on, left engine. Get with it. There you go, left engine. Good job. All right, fuel boost pumps are on. Hydraulic valve is on. All those systems are on. We have the heat going, and they're good to go. Should be interesting. Should be interesting. Quick little look. Check the last couple gauges. Yeah, it's looking good to me. Take a look at the back of that. Sentry Autopilot. Gotta love that version. Wait, wait a minute. What was that? Cabin air temperature, 64. Hey, we got it a couple degrees warmer in here. All right, lights, camera, action. We got plenty of lights. I'm not worried about ice yet. We'll see what happens when we get a little bit higher, obviously. All right, let's do it. And the left engine's still being lazy. We're just going to hold off for a few moments here. See what it wants to do. We are on the way. Bring our power down to our cruise climb in a moment. Man, the trim on this thing is nice. That's sweet. Nice and slow trim. There we go. See, is the attitude the way I want it? I can come up a little bit. Oh, that's right. I wonder if they ever fix that, because like you could set this like 75 and it'd be goofy on you. 75. Yeah, it's still being a little goofy. That's okay though. They'll fix it. All right, let's do our idiot check to make sure everything's okay. So we're climbing smoothly. Oh, I can see that we are captured on that as far as that goes. We'll hit up our KLN 90 real fast. Got to turn down the brightness on this thing. It's a little bit too much. There we go. It's a little better. All right, so let's go switch to page 5. I like page 5, and there we go. We can see that we're a little off course. This is perfectly fine. It's kind of funny because the wind is so strong today, so it's probably pushing me quite a bit more than it would be otherwise. All right, pressure's good. We got RPM. Let's check my Gs. We got 355 degrees today, that's nice. I've had some issues keeping this thing cool in the past, and it looks like it's going to be pretty polite to me today. Looks good. Everything is where it needs to be. I wonder, did it get warmer in here? It's 66 now. It's better. It's better. It's not hot, but it's better. All right, let's go ahead and pull that out about halfway. There it goes. So it's going to take a few minutes to get us all nice and cooking. All right, we'll get to the top of climb here. All right, there's our lovely top of climb, and just like any instrument conditions, it feels like you're going downhill as you approach that cloud. The cloud is just rising up to meet us. So that is a wall of really angry turbulence we're about to smack into in a few moments. And like I said, this is a real world weather. It is kind of a nasty day, but like, hey, why not? If you know how to do this kind of thing, we'll do this kind of thing. In a few moments, should be getting jingled pretty hard. Like, you wouldn't want to look at your wingtips when you pass through stuff like this, because they're going to be having quite the jigglies here. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at our power situation here. We're at 24 and 24. I actually can back the RPM just a touch. Both engines are working really smooth today. I'm actually very pleased with the performance of these engines. They're pretty well aligned with each other. Temperature is very, very comfortable. You can see we're up to about 180 knots here, which is plenty. And one of the things we could do on the KLN 90 real quick, let's come over here and let's see what we have. We're getting 231 for ground speed right now. So we're moving. We are definitely 100% moving here. So that's pretty good. So today what we're going to do, of course, when we get there eventually, which we will, don't worry too much. When we get there, we're going to be doing the lovely ILS approach into runway 2. My understanding is the weather is awful, and I was looking at the report right here, just kind of getting a feel for like, what am I going to do when I get there, kind of a thing like that. And just taking a fast look, it looks like Keen right now is showing, let's see here. Let's see, variable at 3 knots, awesome. Let's see, visibility 10, overcast at 1,400 feet, which is, with those mountains, that's going to be pretty dangerous. And of course, we're 2978 when we get there. So since it's a very short flight for us, we'll actually take a couple moments to kind of get that all squared away now. And again, the whole airplane's going to kind of shift position, but like I said, not that big of a deal for us. Cruising perfectly fine. Like I said, it's about a 14-minute flight for us, which is absolutely nothing. Time flies when you have editing. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start our descent. We're coming down to about 3,100 feet so that we can do our approach. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the pitch control, set it down pretty low, and just hit the at button. And you'll notice it captures it, so I have to basically grab it and put it back where I want it. Notice the plane's going to come sinking down a little bit. And an important thing for us is we really got to reduce power here, because otherwise this thing is going to rip away from us, and that's not going to go well. All right, there we go. About 2,000 RPM should be more than less enough. That's getting us way more vertical speed than we need. Way more, way more. Abort, 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 abort. Nose up, nose up, nose up. Come on. You don't need 2,000 feet per minute. Come on, my friend. This is much easier in a real plane when you can just sort of lean over. There we go. Nose up, nose up, nose up. There it goes. Let's finally calm it down a little bit. Very good. All right, cool. So now we're going through our clouds here. Our lights are still pretty much the exact same setting they were before. This is going to be an ILS approach. 3,100 is going to be our starting altitude here. We've checked to make sure like all of our barometers and all that other good stuff is good. We're going to have to switch over to navigation mode, which is what that magical button up here is going to do for us in a few moments. We're going to be on a frequency today of 108.9er. 108.9er is already preloaded there. I expect the DME to wake up pretty shortly. Again, this is flight sim, so in the real world, you might get the DME to wake up a little bit sooner. In the flight sim, it's going to take a hot second before it kicks on. All right, so we have just about grabbed onto that lovely glide slope. A couple things I just did is I made sure I flipped onto nav mode. I'm on the right frequency. I don't know why we're not getting anything on the DME. I've probably done something wrong. I don't have it on hold, so I'm kind of confused as to why that's not working. Like I said, I can deal without, but it would be nice if it did work. But the good news here, of course, is we can see that we're a little above glide slope, which is okay. One of the things the earlier version of this airplane struggled with a lot was being able to basically kind of stay on glide slope. So this will be kind of a nice little experiment to see if that's shifted substantially here. We'll start back in the power out. As you can see, the weather has not improved. You can also see that we are in a really, really nasty mountainous region, which that's a little sketchy. That'll be okay. We'll be just fine. All right, let's go ahead and bleed some speed off here. One nice thing about this airplane is we can always do the bump there if we need to basically jump. And I'm looking out the window, and I can already see the end of the runway, so that makes me feel a little bit better. We can go ahead and cancel out that lovely instrument approach. I love the stiffness of the controls here. And that is the most missed approach of missed approaches I think I've ever seen. There's simply no way we're going to slow down in time, except we can. One of the most fascinating things about this airplane, I find, is when you put the landing gear down, everything changes in a moment. The plane goes from an absolute rocket ship to an incredibly slow, easily handled, almost a docile plane, kind of a thing like that. So what I'm noticing here is I put down my gear, I drop my flaps to the correct position, and this thing is falling out of the sky like somebody cut the rope on it, kind of a thing like that. It's incredible how fast this thing comes down once you get a little bit of drag on it, and that was that kind of little bump maneuver that we use. Keep in mind, in the real world, in an instrument situation, we would not be doing half of these things, but like I said, I just wanted to get a feel for it and see kind of what's changed or what hasn't. I got one red light. That means we're doing okay so far. It's about 100 knots. Speed feels good. I'm going to go ahead and do all my standard idiot checks, gear and everything. Yeah, everything's looking pretty good. Looks a little high, but that's okay. The nose drift down a little bit. Perfect. Pull that nose right back up. Now, the big thing with this plane I noticed on landing before is it's a little on the stiff side. And not a bad thing. It just means it's a little bumpy. You'll see what I mean. Got a little bit of a crosswind. They said that in the METAR, so it doesn't surprise me. So in the real world, by the way, the lights really turn pink on you, like no joke. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Easy breezy. Nice. It's really nice, actually. Not bad. Not bad at all. Nice. These folks did a really good job with this airplane. There's a lot of really, really nice things that this thing does. Very cool. Very, very cool. And by the way, for those of you curious, we got it up to 81 degrees by the end of our flight. Good stuff. Really, really, really good stuff, A2A. You folks did a really lovely job on this, and I can't wait to see the other things that you're going to put together. Enjoy.